Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Client Side Chats. I tell you what, today we do have a very special guest, Chris Summers, who is the VP of Food Safety at Mission Produce. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hi, James. Good to have you.
I'm glad you were willing to do this. Now, just for the audience, you heard VP of Food Safety. Chris actually oversees sustainability, occupational health and safety, and food safety at Mission Produce. And you guys are a global entity now. You're going public, which I think is awesome. And I tell you what, Chris and I met well, Chris being a client. But Chris and I met, become friends as well outside of work with regard to occupational health and safety. And he's had some pretty good success over the years with regard to it. As we all know, right, Chris, being a safety professional, it ebbs and flows with regard to success with safety, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. Just like your average bell curve, you're on top of the world for a while, and then you find yourself in a hole. But you work your way, and you go with the peaks and the valleys.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Chris, what would you say is a success in occupational health and safety that you've had?
We've had a lot of learning here at Mission. It started out pretty raw. From almost non-existent to something in the background. But we've learned from those years of trials. We've had some great achievements. We've had some turnover. I wouldn't say we've had any failures though. Everything we've done, we've learned from and worked our way out of that valley to improve upon.
Well,
And today it's actually a very solid program.
yeah, I would agree. And having been along some of those trials and tribulations alongside you with that, it definitely has been a learning experience. What would you define as being the best success? Because I have some thoughts in my mind, but what would you say is the best success?
Well, the achievements are great and we celebrate those. I think the success though is when we finally find that when operations and safety mold into one and they start acting, systematically. We've had some incredible safety people here, some, educated, they can quote CFRs left and right, but for some reason it didn't meld into operations. And maybe it's the safety person, maybe it's the operations person, maybe it's the facility. But for some reason, right now, current state, all that is just molding together and we're achieving great success right now. Operations is working directly with us. Our safety person's great. We have relationships. We have a nice facility to work in, plenty of space. So I can't say success is based on one person, but it's the whole system that we have put together that's really showing improvement.
Now, I want to take something out of the conversation that you just mentioned, being knowing the CFRs and everything, forwards and backwards and everything. And that sometimes that was embraced and sometimes that didn't. Would you say that that's a component now within the successful process that you've put into place, or would you say it's more the relationship and the understanding of teamwork and communication back and forth?
I'd say it's more on the relationship and the communication and team building back and forth. CFRs are great, and that's what we base kind of our practice on.
Yeah.
But you can't go out to the floor and start quoting CFRs around. It comes off negatively. So it's that relationships that people can see you're out there and you care for them. We don't do safety to follow the law. We do safety to protect our employees and to make this a good place to work. And that's been a big success, and molding that with an operational entity that, hey, they believe in the same thing. They just want to make this a safe place, and people really like coming to work. They know we're going to take care of them.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. I know as in opening this up, I said I could already think of some things that, together along our journey we have achieved. I remember the years where we were able to drive injuries down to, I think it was 2 in 1 year with the size of the organization you have, because, I mean, how many people do you have now? If you were to do a rough guess, how many folks do you
Just
have?
just in California, roughly 200 to 300, depending on when peak is.
Yeah, gotcha. And I remember those time frames where we were driving it down to 2 injuries. They were just medical only types of things. And, we were celebrating that success because we were able to show it and how that contributed to the bottom line. And I remember the executive meeting that we were in where you were able to very proudly express what was going on.
Putting safety in terms everybody can relate to is important. Safety just can't float out there and gauge it on X mod or number of accidents or number of near misses. So working with you and some others within the industry, I was able to take safety down to a unit cost. So we were able to present that together at a board meeting, and suddenly safety is a real thing. It adds this much onto each unit out the door, and with that, it really puts things in perspective. A lot of times in the P&Ls, safety isn't considered because it's considered more of a corporate expense, but now it's a line item, and hey, that adds to your unit cost. And we've been very successful working with operations to help lower that, but not only lower the cost, it's keep the people safe.
Well, I remember you working with the business analyst during that time period to figure out how that could be determined on a unit cost measure. And you guys did a great job of being able to work it out. My only involvement with that was, that looks great. Is it valid? And you were showing that, yes, it is. And it was a pleasure definitely to present to the executives at that point in time. There was a lot of work that went into achieving these kinds of successes. Would you say there's or could you comment maybe on 2 or 3 points that you believe made this a success for you, made safety a success? Were there 2 or 3 components or elements that you would say that you would pick out that led to that?
One of the big ones was our new facility.
Mm.
We were in an old, cramped, small facility. Just in its nature, because of the age of it, it had some safety issues. So moving into a new facility, updated electrical, lots of space to move around, that certainly helped. But a lot of habits, and that a new facility poses new hazards as well, especially with all of the technology we put into it. But that definitely helped with a lot of trips, falls, run-intos, because of space issues. So that was a big thing. But more recently, it's getting everybody on board. We have the great mix right now of operational people. We have the top executives. We have the middle managers. We have the employee committees that are focusing on this. And everybody's on the same page. And you can't beat that when it comes to trying to do safety. One person cannot do it. 2 people can't do it. So all these different committees and the support that we're getting from everybody within the company is just showing massive success and great intellect and forward movement.
What success is definitely planned and earned as you go through the process. And I will add one more thing here as we wrap up today, Chris, that your EHS person, I was going to say new, it's not so new, EHS person too, being educated, definitely experienced, knowing what to do makes a huge difference in the success that I know you've had as well, in being able to see all the foundational elements come together and now really blossom.
Absolutely. Yeah. She makes a point to be on the floor, talking, working with the people. That relationship is priceless.
Yeah, agreed. So, all right, Chris, on that note, good to see you. Look forward to chatting with you again in the future. Thank you for being on Client Side Chats, and we'll chat again soon.